meeting of January 24th, 2024. Call the meeting to order at 6:01. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV and live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at townofbernardston.org. You can also watch channel 1075 on your Comcast dial in Bernardston. I hope everyone is having a safe night with this storm that we have. Watch out for the ice because it's going to get slippery later. First order of business is the warrants. Entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $56,516.92.
So moved.
Second.
Was there any questions on the payroll warrant? You know, we still have one employee that we're still dealing with, trying to get the paperwork so we can get that individual paid, and hopefully that'll be taken care of by the next warrant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $59,269.50.
So moved.
Second.
Was there anything that discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have several minute meetings that we have to approve tonight. We've been very busy over the last couple of weeks. Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of January 8th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
There's any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of January 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of January 11th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of January 17th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of January 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
A calendar and announcements. The annual town meeting is tentatively scheduled for 7 p.m. on Monday, April 29th, 2024. The venue is yet to be determined, and the date could change, so just bear with us as we go through this. If something happens that we can't make that date, we'll move it up. But right now, we're planning on Monday, April 29th. The Conservation Commission meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 30th at 6 p.m. at Town Hall. The Board of Health meeting is scheduled for Thursday, February 1st, 2024 at 3:30 p.m. Town Hall. The Bernardston cheerleaders and basketball teams will be selling February raffle calendars. The cost is $10 each, with 29 amazing prizes. We would like to thank the following businesses for their donations to make this possible: Pioneer Valley Brewery, Antonio's Pizza, Sweet Lucy's, The Farm Table, Terrazzo's Restaurants, Pioneer Valley Tires, Rainer's Garage Doors, Gary's Coins of Turner's Falls, Green River Builders, and Be Happy Flowers. January 15th, 2024 was the start of open burning season here in Massachusetts and will go through May 1st. Just a friendly reminder that burning hours are from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Fires must be at least 75 feet away from any building or structure. And you must have means of extinguishing ready at all times. Burn-in regulations are subject to change due to weather or environmental restrictions. Before you burn, remember permits are required by law. For more information on how to obtain a permit in Franklin County, go to www.fcburnpermits.com. Thank you for your cooperation in maintaining a safe environment. Citizens' concerns, we have none. Appointments tonight, we have none. New business, we have the District Local Technical Assistance Project request. The FERCog has again received District Local Technical Assistance funding from the Mass Executive Office of Housing in Livable Communities. To help municipalities in the past, the fund has allowed the FERCog to assess our members' municipalities on projects that promote regionalization of services and local and regional planning. And we have several here that people have picked, and we need to whittle this down, I think, to 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, any thoughts, gentlemen?
I think the first one is the number 2 on our chart here, the OSRP plan, the Open Space and Recreation Plan that we're about halfway through with the COG right now. This will fund the second half to finish that.
That was number 1, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it should be number 1. It's number 2 on our list, but
Okay.
The numbers there aren't, that's
Right.
not, it's just
random numbers. there,
random
right?
numbers. That doesn't mean it's number 2, right?
I think we're doing, one of them is IT training and policy development. I think we're moving on that in our own way, so I don't think that is one that we need to have done with them. Regional municipal wages and classification study. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but we try to keep our wages at what the town can afford. We can't always do what everybody else does.
And the COG already puts out a
Right.
county one.
So I would get rid of that one. Municipal service sharing feasibility, matchmaking, or other technical assistance. This includes but is not limited to highway department equipment, sharing of services, grant administration and management sharing of services, fire sharing of service, senior sharing of services. What's your thoughts on that one?
I think that would be a good one. We already do the police sharing. Might expand on that a little bit between highway, and I know highway's been talking with the other communities. One town might own a paver, another might own a roller, and they're working together to do some paving projects. That might help expedite that and make it a little easier to transition into.
Okay, new collective purchasing ideas. Expansion of fuel bids to include all bidding services submitted by the highway superintendent. I think we do all right with that, what we're going through, so we can take that one out. Older adult services, senior center expansion, regional sharing submitted by the Council of Age Director. We can put a question mark on that one for now. Road speed study, access roadway speeds and prepare speed zoning study to provide guidance for new or revised regulatory speed limits on local roadways submitted by the highway superintendent.
We have had some people question us on some of the road speeds in the past to the select board.
Too fast or too slow?
Yes to both.
Okay.
I mean, it might be a good one to, I don't know when the last time one was done in the
Okay.
town. I don't know how the police chief feels about it, but
So
I
that
would
would,
have expected that to come.
Yeah,
from
that
the
one was
chief.
submitted by Brian.
yeah, I was
Yep.
kind of surprised.
Not
it
the
was-
police had no
Yeah.
comment on the projects.
okay, the one I skipped by was the evacuation route assessment and evacuation route map update. That was number 1. This project will assess current emergency evacuation routes within the county and develop updated maps of Franklin County towns and public safety agents. In the past decade, hazardous risk profiles have grown, specifically the risk posed by flooding, hazmat incident, wildfires submitted by the fire department chief. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
I don't know. We have the OSRP, the Open Space and Rec Plan. That's definitely should be on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The municipal services sharing feasibility, matchmaking, or other technical assistance. We agreed that should be on.
Right.
So I think we're between road speed study.
Okay, well,
Or maybe the first
if we do the business industry, the municipal service sharing, and the road speed study, and we can put down as 2 alternates, if we could,
Sure.
would be the older adult services and the evacuation route assessment.
Not the collective purchasing?
Huh?
You don't feel we could benefit from collective purchasing?
We already do that.
But
The bidding, like for fuel, we kind of set out and do that ourselves.
yeah,
And we got the COG too.
We
that
wouldn't
helps
need
us
a
with that,
grant,
so.
like anyone to do that for
Right.
us. I guess that's how I interpreted it too.
well,
but-
the weight of having a number of towns getting together to bid
To
on
do-
fuel.
We
Yeah.
do that already. The COG does it, and the Lower Valley Collaborative does that.
Yeah, when you join the Lower Pioneer Valley, that's what that is. You're joining a bunch of other towns that are,
I mean, this states to include all bidding services. I believe the COG already does like gravel and road
Right.
salt and
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
winter sand for us already.
Yeah,
Unless they're
we're
trying to
already
expand it
tied
more.
into other towns, so that.
okay, so,
Electricity?
Huh?
Electricity?
Yeah, that's a good one.
What's that?
Electricity, bidding on electric rates.
the LPVEC will bid on electricity too, just so you know, but I didn't ask him for that quote.
Okay. So if they're already doing it, we don't need to do
Yeah.
it again.
So we have to make a motion for those?
So, yeah,
Which two?
the top three, I need the top three,
That would be the number 2, the business industry sector analysis, open.
OSRP, right?
Yeah. And number 6, municipal services sharing feasibility matching.
Yep,
What was our third one?
Road speed study.
road speed study, okay.
Okay,
And then we want the 2 alternates to put down there as number 8 and number 1.
Number 8, number 1 are the alternates.
Right.
Okay, thank you, and just do a motion for that, I guess, right?
so
All
moved.
those in favor?
Second?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Custodial services discussion. The highway superintendent, Brian Minor, has received inquiries from department heads about custodial duties in their buildings. At present, the highway department staff member Bob Smith provides custodial services to the town hall offices every Friday and provides partial custodial services to the senior center a couple of times a week. Bob's current custodial services schedule, coupled with other responsibilities, does not allow any more additional custodial services for town buildings seeking this service. The Highway Department recommends that if we want to add custodial services for other town buildings, we would need to consider the following based on the requested level of service. Police station, 4 hours per week. Senior center, 10 hours per week. This would be adding to the time Bob already spends there, and it would be replacing the custodian that the senior center pays for out of their budget. Library, 6 hours a week. Fire station, 2 hours per week. Town hall, adding 1 hour a week above and beyond what Bob already does to provide a higher level of service. In total, 23 hours per week, plus an additional 105 hours of overtime for snowstorms for shoveling those buildings. This would have to be an additional position added to the DPW staff. If this is something the town would like to do, the highway department will provide the additional services if given the manpower to do so. Currently, the highway department is not staffed or budgeted to take this on. The highway department superintendent is looking for some direction on how to proceed with the inquiries. I think they have a valid request here. I think this is something that we, as we go through the budget process, we need to look at this. We've added a lot of things to the town this year, so we don't know how much more we can add without really getting ourselves in a pickle. But I don't think we should just throw this out. I think this needs to be really looked at. If we
Are
want
there
to,
equal and offsetting savings?
what's that?
Are there equal and offsetting savings? Somebody's got to be cleaning these buildings.
Right.
And if the highway department's going to take it over with a 23-hour staff position, that's 23 hours somebody else is giving up, because the buildings are getting cleaned now.
The police department's
not all the
not,
buildings
yeah.
being cleaned, and we've seen that. We've seen that with the library situation. Our town hall is neat. I wouldn't say it's clean. Our police station is the same thing. It's neat, but I wouldn't say it's clean. These are just, what happens now, we just have like a quick run over. He comes in here on Fridays and does a quick mopping of the floors and that stuff, and that's it. You can go around here, there's dust all over the place, there's dirt in the corners, everything else, and all the other buildings the same way. So we don't really have a cleaning service like the schools have, like a custodian that really cleans. And the only other thing we could do is continue on the same path we are and say to ourselves, every quarter, we're gonna hire a company to come in and deep clean the building. And I don't know how much.
That's an
that would cost.
alternative.
Yeah, but I think this is a discussion that we should have. I don't think we can do it tonight.
No, I think it needs to be done with the finance committee
Yep.
and taking a lot of things that we have on the table already this budget season.
Yep.
To me, right off a quick glance, this is gonna be a tough ask,
Yeah.
Right.
given what we already know we're up against this year, but I think it deserves a good look. And I mean, places like the library, they willingly took their janitor out of their budget 6 years ago and said they were gonna, so for us to kick in an extra 6 hours when we're already paying for the shoveling down there out of the select board's account, because we felt bad, that's a problem for Brian.
Okay.
They made a conscious choice to do that. So to Ken's point, if we adjusted their budget to accommodate that 6 hours, all over it.
Well, I'm thinking there might be ways that we can figure out how to get this done. I mean, the police station, I mean, it's kind of hard to have an officer that we're paying.
I mean, on some of the weather days, I mean, I'm not picking on the police department, so nobody take it that way. On bad weather days, they don't do as much road traveling for obvious reasons. I don't think it's unreasonable to shovel the steps and the handicap ramp.
Oh, I don't
That's
think
just
that
me.
shoveling is, I think that should be part of it. I'm just talking about the overall cleaning. I mean, even on bad days, I mean, they're out on a lot of calls because of accidents and stuff like that. Oh, anyways, let's table this and let's bring this to the finance committee and let's bring it to our budget meetings and see what we can do with it.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Sounds like a plan.
Lock-in oil. The town of Bernardston is looking to lock in diesel, gas, and oil through the Lower Pioneer Valley Educational Collaborative, which is acronym LPVEC in FY25. The pricing we can get through the LPVEC is a fixed price for the fiscal year. However, the premium cost of delivery and the federal taxes are more expensive than with our current supplier, Sandry. In addition, Sandry will not accommodate lock-in oil prices for the upcoming fiscal year. If prices spike during the coming year, we may be better off with the contract through LPVEC. Pricing is as follows: diesel, $2.46 per gallon; unleaded gas at $2 per gallon; and heating oil at $2.46. LPVEC represents Paul Schroeder, stated that we are better off with the contract through LVEC, but if prices stays close to where they are within 25 cents, we may be better off with Sandry. Brian Miner suggested that maybe we could consider doing a 50-50 split and only lock in 50% of our usage with the contract. Brian also added that if the prices are close, we should definitely stay with Sandry. What's your...
I know we've gone both ways in the past. Some years we've done locked in, some years we haven't. One of the drawbacks to locking in, if we lock into, let's just say 6,000 gallons of heating oil, and we only use 5,000 gallons, we have to pay a fee for that 1,000 gallons we did not use.
All right.
So there's an opportunity for us to have to pay money and not get a product. Some years it's been a winner to lock in because prices have gone crazy. Some years we've been way better not to lock in because prices have gone the other way. I mean, it's really a crapshoot.
Two thoughts. If you can predict the price of oil, gas, and diesel, you're going to be a very, very, very wealthy person. Go out and buy futures in the futures market, and I'm here to tell you, you wouldn't need to live in Bernardston. You could live in the fanciest place in the world.
This is true.
That's number one. The other reality, I guess, is this world that we live in. There's a lot of unsettled politics in the Middle East, which is where most of the oil comes from. And if that blows up on us in the next 6 months, the price of oil, gas, and diesel is going to go through the ceiling. They don't love us over there, and the opportunity for that being a difficult spot in the world is real. So the opportunity to lock in is something we should look hard at. I'm not sure that these are the right prices, and I'm not sure with the 25 cents, it makes sense I guess I would say that to stay with Sandry for now, but I'm nervous about predicting oil, gas, and diesel prices, and I'm nervous about the Middle East having an effect on it.
We have had a year, several years back, where we did purchase like one of the suggestions of Brian Miner was 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
We have done something similar to that in the past. My earlier years on the board where we did say, okay, let's cut what we think we're gonna use in half and purchase half through the collaborative, then we know we're not gonna get stuck not using it.
Right.
So we have a little price protection.
It's a very sound idea. Good logic.
Yeah, and when do you pick to do which, I don't know, but.
And would that still make it attractive enough for Sandry to provide the pricing that they are?
That's
if
true.
we give away half of their business.
That's true.
Right.
That's something that we would need to ask
And as
them.
Brian said, he's had awesome luck with Sandry.
Right.
He calls them, they're there.
The
He's
relationship's there, and it's
never had a
important,
bad product
Yeah.
delivered to him.
And
It's a
I think
call
if we got in trouble, Sandry would.
Yep, I agree with you.
Would stand behind us.
There's
Yep.
definitely value in that, for
Yeah.
sure.
There's a reason they don't lock in prices, Sandry.
Right.
Because they're no smarter than we are as far as guessing what's going to happen with pricing.
They buy their contracts.
We have an expert here.
They'll buy from their suppliers, they'll buy thousands of gallons of fuel at a set price, and those get drawn first.
Uh-huh.
So that's what they do is.
Do you
so-
not- do
So
you-
they know what their pricing is pretty much gonna be, but again, if the market changes and they've locked in at a certain price to purchase their fuel supply, they can get, and it happened in 2008, 2009. That winter was not good, because the price dropped and everybody had locked in at a high price, and everybody left and went somewhere else and didn't take all their oil because they could buy it cheaper somewhere
So they were
else.
stuck with,
They lost a lot of money that year, yes. So that's how it works for them.
which is why.
I'm assuming it still works that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't been there in a while, but.
I do know they treated us well with the new tanks
They did.
and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. So my thought would be if it's no more than 25 cents, I would stay with Sandry.
Right.
And we've used it for what now, 6 months or
Yes.
so, or a little bit more?
Yeah.
It's been very reasonable
Agreed.
compared to spot market.
So I would make a motion to thank the person that pulled all this together, but to stay with Sandry as our supplier.
And I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor of staying with Sandry for our diesel, unleaded gas, and heating oil, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. New road plate sale quote. Due to changes in rules with OSHA, the town of Bernardston is in need of a trench plate that is required when doing culvert replacement and digging over 3 feet deep along the roads. Attaches a quote for $6,969.29 from United Rentals Trench Safety. Brian is not looking to purchase the trench plate at this time. He wants to know if this is something we should add to the FY25 budget. There seems to be always something, and the trench plate is, it is for safety. It is. I shouldn't say it any other way. It is.
Well, I think it's one we can bring to the finance committee meetings that we have every Monday,
Yeah.
and we can talk about whether.
Ask Brian when he presents.
He presents Monday, so
Monday,
he'll
yeah.
be ready to
Yeah,
talk
Good
about
night
it
to bring
then.
it up,
Yep.
if we
Yeah.
want to use ARPA, or put it in the budget, or tell him to be frugal and find it in his budget this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we might be telling them all to be more frugal.
Right.
We might have to, listening to what's coming out of the state and stuff and all that, we might be
It's
looking
good he's
for some
thinking
cuts.
ahead, trying to figure out
Yeah.
where we have a potential to get in some trouble.
Yeah.
I have a question, if this would be considered a capital improvement thing or no? A trench plate?
I would think it's capital.
It is capital? I just was curious,
Big
because
enough number.
I would add it to his improvement plan then. All right, excuse me, okay, thank you.
Okay, next up, we have the vote by mail opt-out. In accordance with the Votes Act of 2022 and effective June 23rd, 2022, it is required that the Select Board vote upon a recommendation from the Board of Registers for in-person early voting for the local annual town election. A meeting of the Board of Registers was held on Thursday, January 11th, 2024, and following a discussion on in-person early voting, it was unanimously voted to recommend to the Select Board to conduct 3 days of in-person early voting on April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd, and during regular business hours of the town clerk, and to be held at the town hall. I'll say that again. They recommend that the Select Board is to conduct, they recommend the Select Board to vote to conduct 3 days of in-person early voting on April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd, during regular business hours of the town clerk, and to be held at the town hall. The Board of Registers requests that this be placed on tonight's agenda and acted upon as early as possible for the town clerks to advertise this option. Make a motion to approve 3 days of in-person voting on April during regular business hours of the town clerk. Your pleasure, gentlemen.
I think we should go with the recommendation of this.
So moved.
I'll second it.
I have questions,
Yeah, go ahead.
clerk here. The results of that in-person early voting
Yeah.
are kept sealed
Oh, yeah.
until election day?
Yeah, so the people they'll get their ballot and they get another envelope. They'll fill out the envelope with their name and address and sign it. Their ballot goes in there and they seal that, and that gets taken into the town clerk's office and kept there until the day of the election.
And this is to accommodate them because they can't make it on election day?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is different than mailing your vote in?
Yes.
Because I got something in the mail from you that said, do I want to?
You have a lot of choices.
Yeah. Mailing it versus coming here and on one of those 3 days and sticking it in an envelope and giving it to you, and or the third choice of coming
Right.
physically on that day.
Right.
Is that a little bit of overkill?
It's what the state law is, and I just try to follow state law and
If we said,
offer all these opportunities for
if we
people
said
to
2
vote.
days instead of 3 days, if we said, no, we don't want these 3 days, and you can either mail it or you can come in on election day, would that be in violation of the state?
No, because the option for in-person early voting is not mandatory, but the next one for,
Yeah, I don't want
Offering
to take them separately.
yeah.
So I guess I just,
So,
I mean, we could
I mean, we
take
can-
votes every single day of the year if we wanted to, and
Right.
make you come in and,
I think the last time when we did the election for the state election,
yeah.
back in '22, we had maybe 19 people come in.
Is that worth it for
in
19?
person. You know, we're here anyway, so it's more of a convenience for
This
those
is during
people
your-
who might not be able to make it on the day of the election and don't want to do mail-in voting.
Okay.
Because it's during your normal workday.
It's just during our normal work
I
hours.
thought there was 1 year that you actually had to come in on a Saturday to accommodate this.
Well, we do work on Saturdays
I-
when there's elections.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but that doesn't count as your regular.
Right, that's not regular. Actually, the town has voted and accepted NGL, I never remember these numbers, it's 110, Section A or whatever, saying that a town clerk does not have to work on a Saturday, it's treated as a holiday.
Yeah.
However, the state has a lot of mandatory days, so there are days we have to work.
You as the clerk who are going to suffer this, what's your recommendation?
I'd say, let people have the opportunity. If they can't come in and vote the day of the election and they're available during the day when we're working, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Now, how are you gonna keep these things safe?
We have our closet that we lock. So all the ballots even ballots that aren't being used, they all get locked in that closet.
Okay, I don't need to know where, I just need to know who did it.
What's that?
I don't need to know where, I just need to know they're gonna be locked up.
They're locked up,
Okay,
and then our office door gets locked too.
okay. Okay, your pleasure, gentlemen.
We motioned it.
And seconded it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business.
Oh, that's the first
Oh,
part.
oh,
You got one
oh,
more.
the
to
last
do.
paragraph there.
This whole page is a
Got
whole
the
separate
mandatory
vote.
part to do.
In addition, we advise that the Votes Act of 2022 requires that the early vote by mail is mandatory for local elections unless Select Board holds a public hearing not later than 45 days, March 22nd, prior to the annual town election, and vote to opt out of early vote by mail. It is a recommendation of the Board of Registers to not offer early vote by mail for our local town election in 2024. The Board of Registers agreed that the cost of the 92 cents per ballot mailed to all those who request all elections this year on the vote by mail application and an additional hours required for personnel will place a financial burden on the town clerk's budget. Gentlemen, your pleasure.
I would make a motion to not offer early vote by mail for our local town election, not the other elections, but just the town elections in
Right.
2024, as per the recommendation from the Board of Registrars.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Now can I go to old business?
Now you can.
Okay. Model Host Community Agreement Public Comment. Elizabeth Linden from Mead, Tallerman, and Costa submitted comments to the Cannabis Control Commission on January 17th with a red-line draft on behalf of the town. A summary of the changes are included in our packets, and Elizabeth is happy to submit any additional comments the Select Board may have. Their Heirloom Collective Attorney Sacco, met with Elizabeth on January 18th to discuss the red lines, and he is amenable to all changes proposed in the model, but requests that we wait to see if there are any other revisions by the CCC before finalizing the draft. Anybody want to read the red lines to the people? Ryan?
I don't know. They're not truly red lined in there.
Yeah, it's not really
I
It
don't
is.
either.
Came-
color
come through as
coded,
red.
right?
Is yours red, Stan?
No.
It's
No.
really individual words here and there.
Yeah. It's edits.
There's nothing that's drastically changed.
Oh, it says, the municipalities, they took out the apostrophe S and just made it municipality.
It's-
Including zoning bylaws, regulations, they took out local laws in ordinary, common of all other laws. So it's just legal stuff. They took out, another sentence that says, in maintaining each license. You see it's all in,
Yeah, so the funny color.
yeah, it's all this,
Grayed out stuff.
yeah,
A lot of it's adding a paragraph and a number that didn't
Yeah.
have paragraphs and numbers, and letters.
just so people know, there's a lot going on with changes for the cannabis control business, and we have to stay compliant. So there's a lot that we've had to do over the last month to make sure that we had the proper paperwork in to be compliant. It looks like things like our host community agreement will be taken away. It looks like our charity donations from these companies will be taken away, and we don't know what else. So this is all through the state law, and our lawyers are looking at it. The companies that have this business are looking at it. And we'll give you more information when we have it.
And it's one of those things we have to have the attorneys do it, because it's all in legalese, and
Yeah.
our lawyer and Heirloom Collective's lawyer are amicably working together to make it comply with the state law. I mean, that's all we can all do.
Or,
Can I get a motion to approve the red line draft as written by Mead, Tallerman, and Costa?
So moved,
I'll second it.
with the understanding that we're gonna wait
Yeah.
until the revisions from the CCC have been finalized.
Correct.
Just so we don't have to change it again. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll second the addition.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Town administrators report.
All right. So, gentlemen, if you turn to tab 1, Brian Miner provided an update in reference to the Commonwealth versus Andrew Del Valle. The letter from the Commonwealth stated January 8th, 2024, before Judge Masnick in Greenfield District Court. The named defendant submitted to facts sufficient to warrant a finding of guilty on the charges of breaking and entering daytime with intent to commit a felony at the Highway Department, if you recall that incident. The case was continued without a finding for a period of 6 months with the order that the defendant comply with the following conditions: stay 50 yards away from the Bernardston DPW, and the defendant will be monitored by the Greenfield District Court Probation Department. So it looks like that case is closed with monitoring.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah. All right, and I don't know if you saw your email today, but there's a new Massachusetts Select Board handbook that was published, 2024. If you go to the MMA website, it's available online. And not only will this handbook help current Select Board members, it will also help candidates for the office, and it's available to the public to enhance their knowledge of local government. So, but that just came out, I think, today. So,
I did not see that.
yeah. Also, I wanted to get your thoughts on proposing April 1st as the deadline for all warrant materials. My plan is to have the Select Board review and approve the warrant at the April 17th regular Select Board meeting, and then this will give the town clerk enough time to do what she has to do.
We have to run it by the attorneys as well.
Yeah.
Does that give you sufficient?
If I get the deadline's the 1st, I'll have 2 weeks to get it to Donna,
Okay.
right? I think I'll be okay with that.
And that's going to be for petitioned articles as well.
Correct. Unless you think, that's why this is my first time, so I'm
Yeah, no,
asking, does that
about
seem
what we usually
reasonable?
Well, we talked about it, and, I mean, for it to be the 29th of the meeting, it has to be, the warrant has to be posted by the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So 7 days before the annual town meeting. So the 17th, if you signed the warrant the 17th, that gives me a couple days to have the constable run around and post the meeting in all the public places that it has to be posted, and get it on the website.
So you think it's sufficient time?
Well,
It's tight?
as far as the warrant and the town council going through it, that I really don't know.
If we moved it up a week earlier,
Moved what up?
moved the date from
You
April
can
1st
tell me what, if I need more
to
time,
March
tell me.
20.
I'm not sure.
24th?
Well, the only thing you're moving up is petitioned articles.
I
If
think-
we- If we're not done with the warrant, we're not done with the warrant.
I get
That's
it,
our
but
fault.
Oh,
it's,
so you're feeling it's 1 April's okay?
I would think it would be,
Okay.
because it's petitioned articles. So you have to qualify that they're all signatures are correct.
Yeah. if we have
last year we had a
petition
couple of
articles.
petitioned articles.
Yeah.
I mean, even those,
And the public Pioneer Valley School District was wondering when the turn-in date would be as well. So that's why I owe them an answer. But I think based off our conversation, 1 April's okay.
yeah, and if somebody comes in and asks for a petition of some sort, then we'll have to give them a deadline, and it doesn't take long for us to certify
Okay.
signatures.
So
anyways.
April 1st is a good date.
I hope so.
Okay. I would move that we make April 1st the cutoff date for petitioned articles.
Town
to be-
warrant materials.
To be included in the town warrant.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and that's all I have, gentlemen, thank you.
Okay, on the other business unknown at the time of posting, we have what we call the town settlement report. And that means our building, town hall, is settling in different areas, so we call it the settlement report. Has been completed and received. In general, the town hall building foundation is in acceptable condition with areas of water, frost, and damage along the north side of the building. eroded, damaged mortar joints at both the exterior brick masonry joints and interior brick masonry piers, and broken or damaged brick units. Most of the areas where damage has occurred are near the finished grade, and the damage is most likely caused by water, moisture, infiltration into the brick masonry. A competent mason can make these repairs and restore structure integrity of the foundation. We've been waiting a long time to get this report back from the engineers and stamped. It looks like the front of the building, so people know what we're talking about, as you come in through the stairs, and as you walk into the building, you'll notice you kind of step up a little bit when you're inside the door because the floor has settled down. And that's because it's been washed out, the foundation has been washed out a little bit underneath it, so that needs to be repaired. Also in this office, the Selectman's office, if you're sitting here, you can start to see it when you see that the door doesn't line up. But the corner, as you walk in, the left-hand corner of the building is really settled down, and you can actually see it looks like it's going like this here, it's tipping in. So that needs to be addressed along with some bricks. We have somebody that's going to look at it, and we'll see what the outcome of that is, and we'll let you know what we are going to do with that. But it definitely needs to be fixed. Some of this is caused because we don't have gutters on the building. And so the water just falls off, and the drainage is not, it's not drained right, so we've got to get with the highway crew and see what they can do as far as sloping the drainage on the buildings and putting something up where the water hits will go away from the building instead of back into the building. So we'll get those things repaired, and we'll get the prices and then let people know what we're doing with that. Any other questions on that or any other comments?
Nope.
Okay, I'm just so glad to get this report.
Glad to get the report.
Yeah.
Months we've been waiting, well, probably close to
Years, yeah. So, and this is, this company that we had to get, just so people know, is actually a company, the guy is out of New Jersey and travels up here once a month, and I think his office is in Coleraine or Conway. I can't remember which one, it doesn't say on here. But anyways, it's been, back and forth, and trying to get these guys to get something done has been a long haul. We couldn't get a local engineer. We tried, we called every one of them. Most of them wouldn't even call us back. So that's where we stand on that. Any other thing for the select board meeting tonight, Joe?
Nope.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
No, I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, folks.
Night, everybody.